Hello, gentle marketers. Welcome to the Gentle Business Revolution podcast, the show where we talk about marketing your business by disrupting the current marketing paradigm. I'm Sarah Sinacroce. I'm the host here, and today is another special episodes, a series that I'm hosting about self-care for dealing with tough times. We're right in the middle of things. Coronavirus is picking up again everywhere, especially over here in Europe. We're seeing cases increase and things are being toughened again in terms of, measures, security measures and all of that. And then, of course, there's the election in the US and, all these other things. I just heard about a big thing happening in Paris. Just like the world is crazy. So dealing with tough times, I think that's really what we're doing right now, just taking it one day at a time. And so I promised you to record an episode about insomnia. And so that's what I want to do today, kind of like tell you how I dealt with it, a couple of things that I did, like not just a couple, a lot of things that I tried, and in the end, what I think worked for me. So I probably have to go back to when I first was pregnant with my son, with my firstborn, Simon. And so that's almost 18 years ago now. And so back then, when you have, first of all, I think already it started during pregnancy. It was 2003, so that was one of these big hot summers. So really, it's amazing to me that is the year that goes down as one of the first kind of heat wave summers. And I was really feeling it. He was born at the end of July. And so, for 2 months, basically June and July, I was just like tossing, turning, couldn't sleep because of the heat and because of the big giant belly. My belly was huge. And so it already started then. But then, of course, the baby was born. And let's just say we didn't have an easy, sleepy baby. So he was up a lot. And looking back now, it definitely also has to do with me, because I see other moms where, they would kind of like just feed in their sleep or nurse in their sleep. Well, that wasn't me. I was anxious and, woke up before he even woke up to make sure, why is he not waking up? What's wrong? Is there something wrong? So just like a lot of sleep disruption during that time. And exhaustion also, because he actually didn't make his nights until he was 3 years old, until our second son was born, pretty much. So one of the first supplements I ever took for sleeping was called Avena Sativa. So that's from the oat. And I'm reading you here the description. What are the benefits of Avena Sativa? Avena Sativa contains compounds which are both sedative and soothing to the brain and nervous system. Hence, it is said to be a good herb as a nerve restorative. So that's what I was taking during those months, years. And I still woke up because the baby was crying, but I remember it did feel soothing. It did feel good. And I think, so it's more than just a sleep help. It actually also a restorative kind of supplement that really helps you with rebuilding calm into your life. So that worked for me at the time. I took it whenever I couldn't fall asleep or in the middle of the night when I had to get up to feed and then couldn't fall back asleep. And it really did help me to kind of find my way back to sleep. So that was the first kind of supplement. And besides that, I've tried so many things, and I want to tell you kind of what I'm doing now, and not really, I actually right now not really taking a specific supplement for sleeping, but I think what really also helped me is getting into a consistent routine. So making sure that before I go to bed, I take the phone out of my room. The only screen I have is my Kindle screen, and that's a black and white. So there's no blue light there that kind of keeps your brain awake. I'll sometimes take a hot bath, or just otherwise make sure that my feet are nice and warm. I tend to get really cold feet, and so obviously when you have cold feet, you can't fall asleep. And so always making sure that either I take a full bath or just a foot bath, or just massage my feet with some hot oil and then put on warm socks. Or I have one of those pillows. I don't know if they have them in the US, but here in Europe, they have them where it's cherry pits inside. And so it's really easy to put into the microwave and heat up. And then the heat just retains much longer. So something like that, where I like it better than the typical bottle, water bottle, heated water bottle, because it's more cozy and you can really wrap it around your foot, where the water bottle is just kind of stiff, and it also doesn't stay hot as long. So look for something like that. So have a really good routine before going into bed. And then what I also tried quite a bit is tapping. So EFT tapping, where you tap on these certain points on your body, on your meridians. And if you're interested in that, look for a special episode during the March series, during the first wave of COVID, where I interviewed my friend Karin, who's specialized in this technique. So that's really something also that helped me when, for example, I was awake in the middle of the night and couldn't fall back asleep. It gave me something to do with my hands rather than just, counting sheep or trying not to think, or all of these techniques that people tell you to do. Well, for me, it really needed to be something that I could do with my hand as well. Another one is alternate nostril breathing, or box breathing. So that's when either you count to 4, breathe in on 4, hold 4, breathe out on 4, hold 4. That's box breathing. And alternate nostril breathing is when you hold one nostril, breathe in, and then breathe out through the other nostril, breathe in, and vice versa. So both of those breathing techniques, they're just really there to calm the nervous system. And they do also really help because you're doing something. So, box breathing, you have to really focus on counting rather than just thinking, I can't think. So, both of those breathing techniques are really helpful. I also took rescue drops from Dr. Buck. So those sometimes help when I come back from a networking event, or used to pre-COVID. Networking events, they always drive my mind crazy, where I, come back and I usually actually fall asleep because I'm just tired. But then in the middle of the night, I wake up and then all these conversations go through my head over and over and over again. So that's when usually rescue drops, or also CBD oil, used to help, or still does help in case I take part in any networking events. So CBD oil is a product that's derived from cannabis. So it's a type of cannabinoid, which are the chemicals naturally found in marijuana plants. Even though it comes from marijuana plants, CBD doesn't create a high effect or any form of intoxication. That's caused by another cannabinoid known as THC. So again, you're not going to get a high effect with CBD oil, you're just going to get the calming effect. And that is really what you want, right? After overdrive, mind overdrive, anxiety overdrive. So that's what CBD oil is good for. So definitely recommend that for any kind of anxious sleeping problems. So what else? I just recently read, since I got interested more and more in Ayurveda, they recommend nutmeg, so the spice nutmeg in a bit of milk. And so since I'm really a big believer of the effects of spices, natural, basically supplements, I would definitely give that a try. And then, of course, there's really meditation that has helped me become a much better sleeper. Really just going into accepting also that, if I'm awake, I wake up in the middle of the night, I can't sleep. Well, it is what it is. I'm accepting that I'm not sleeping right now, and I can actually use this time for meditation, or I can use this time for EFT tapping, or, whatever it is, but I don't freak out already that I'm awake and count down the hours that are left. So it's really also a different concept of time, I think, that I had to learn and realize that, I just accept what is. And if that means that tonight I don't get 7 hours of sleep, it's okay. I'll be okay. So those are the things that I wanted to share with you. Obviously, there's 100 other things. If you would like to share some with me, please do, either in the comments, or you can go over to sarahsanacroce.com/ask. And instead of ask, you can just share one of the things that have worked for you, and I'd be happy to report them back and share them in a next episode. But sleeping is a big thing, right? So we want to really make sure that we find what works for us so that we can get that restorative 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep. Maybe one more thing I'm going to say about sleeping is also what happened in our couple. We really needed to come to this understanding that we both need A, different amounts of sleep, but B, also different times of sleep. So I've always been a morning person, which means that I go to bed quite early. And Tony, my husband, he's a night owl. So he goes to bed late and gets up later. And so, we've been married 20 years, and yet that was always kind of a topic because I couldn't stay up past 10, and he was then obviously staying up later, and then we couldn't have breakfast together. So just also, again, accepting that we are wired differently and that it's okay to have different sleep schedules as long as your body gets what is good for it and not trying to fit into someone else's schedule. I think that is super important. And really getting away from that hustling mode where it's like, oh, you can get by with only 6 hours of sleep. I know for sure that I can't. I need a good 8 hours, ideally even more. So it's really very, very personal. So very important that you have that conversation also maybe in your couple if you are living with someone who has a different sleep pattern. I think it's super, super important. So again, that's what I wanted to share with regards to sleep. There is obviously several books. One that comes to mind right now is Ariana Huffington's book. I think it's called Sleep something with sleep revolution, maybe. Anyway, if you look up Arianna Huffington and sleep, you'll definitely find it. I definitely recommend reading that one. So I hope this has been helpful. You find your own little thing that helps you sleep and restore. And thanks so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.